Hey, what's up? Good morning. This is Rev Bruce, and I'm here back with Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce, breaking it down for you today. Man, I got some good stuff today on this gig economy. Able to, put it to the test, take some things on, and definitely um, today. Today, I even went out a little bit, and so you'll see some of that. Went out delivery delivery. That's what I've been working on these past couple of days, and just coming back and getting my bearings with all that and figuring out what is it that I'm doing and how am I doing it and what does that look like um, on another level. You know what I mean? And when I say what does that look like on another level, what does that look like, day to day? What does that look like when you have to um, put things together and put them together in a manner to where people can get on board and join in with you, right? A lot of what we try to deal with and a lot of what we end up accepting isn't necessarily what is good for us. And so when we try to get everybody to get on the team and be there and be part of it, it doesn't always work out. Because, honestly, it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I'm not being mean. I'm not being like, oh man, you're putting people out. It's just, um, in all honesty, it's not. That's the reality of it. And when we deal with that in a manner that is, acceptable, right? And so I'm saying that to break out in the beginning and be honest. I had to deal with also working online, and I had to deal with someone who had a honest request, and I tried to honor their request, for some work to be done. But I got to be honest with you, um, it just became too much, right? And it became too much, and then they're like, well, you can do this, you can do that, and I'm open to suggestions, and I'm trying to work with them, but it just became too much. And when I say it became too much, um, that's when I also said, after so many tries, I'm out. And given that after so many tries, I'm out, I'm gonna I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm not gonna just ditch you. I'm just gonna say I'm out, and here's why I'm out. I'm out, and here's what this was about. I'm out, and this is what's going. I'm going to give you some information. So between now and the next time, maybe you can work on that. Maybe you can change that. Not even for me, but maybe for the next person. And so I was doing this freelance assignment, and it came up, and this is how I dealt with it. I'll show you how I dealt with it, which is pretty cool. I told him, hey, um, I can't do it. I can't do it, and here's why I can't do it. I messaged them, and I declined the order. You know, one of the systems that I work with, even after you've accepted a direct assignment, you can decline the order. Nothing was wrong with what they had. What was wrong was I didn't have access to certain things, and I requested access, and we were going back and forth. And by the time I got done, it was time for me to move on and do something else. And so um, I'm out. I just can't do it. And so, in that sense, here's what I came up with based upon that. Everything isn't for everybody. And as you get into this gig economy, you're going to hear and see people come up with lists, 28 things you can do to, make money on the side. 10 things you can do to make money right now. 15 ways to make $100 in the next, day. Okay, cool. But every one of those isn't for you. right? Everybody shouldn't have an Etsy shop. If you're not doing certain things, what are you doing on Etsy? Everybody shouldn't be, on eBay. If you're not doing certain things or handling things a certain way, you shouldn't be on eBay or Craigslist. And so you need to find your fit, and that's what a lot of people mistakenly don't do. They don't find their fit. They chase after what everyone else has done. They try to figure it out and go from there. But you need to find your fit, and finding your fit makes sense because as we continue to talk about this gig economy and side hustles and making money and all these things, doing stuff online, you're gonna have numerous opportunities and pathways you can go down, but you need to find what fits for you, and that's your reality. And you need to deal with the learning curve as well, and then you can adjust your perspective from there. Once you've had some skin in the game and some time in the game, you've got some perspective. You've got a point of view, right? And then you can manage your pace. I think that's the other thing. We can jump in and not pace ourselves. Here on YouTube, for instance, and Twitch, I'm having to pace myself because it's not an immediate response. It's not an immediate, hey, that thing blew up. It's not immediate, and so things have to be tinkered with, adjusted. Things have to be long term. Things have to not just simply be, okay, today I posted, where is everybody? Today I went live, where is everybody? It's not about that. It's about, okay, am I sharing relevant content that someone can digest, right? And someone can apply, someone can utilize. And so that's why today, as we talk about this gig economy, I want to make sure that you put this in perspective and that you get your head wrapped around this. This is what I'm talking about as far as not just Uber Eats and DoorDash and ride sharing and all these different things, but how are you going into it and how you're approaching it and how you're dealing with it. One of the main things I go to in the Bible for wisdom is the books of wisdom. So you got Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. I'm up here stuttering, needs more coffee, right? And Proverbs says it this way: do not overwork to be rich. Do not overwork for the status. Do not, overindulge yourself in this. Do not wear yourself out doing this. Because when you do, your understanding will cease, right? It's Proverbs 23:4. Just to keep you in the mindset of what we're talking about. This is what's going on, and so that's what I have to say after, going back and forth with this client. I probably went back and forth with this client. I probably spent about 2 days. Not that I spent all day at the computer going back and forth, but like you message them and then they message you back and hey, I just want to clarify your instructions on this request, and hey, I'm having difficulty with this, and just didn't work. And so that's my experience as a writer this week. And so, and don't get me wrong, that was a good paying job, but it just, everything didn't fit and I couldn't complete the job. And so that's part of it. You gotta be able to complete it. And so I want to talk about formula, right? And when I talk about formula, I want to do this in the right sense. And most of us that have dealt with sports, we understand what an MVP is, right? And that's the most valuable player. And so for this, I want to talk about the most vital prospects. And so it's definitely about balance, right? It's about balance, right? And the balance that we get is, like I said, every gig isn't for everyone. But I also know that I have to evaluate what fits me, right? I've got to do some self-analysis. What am I good at? What are my skill sets? How am I positioned, right? Do I have what I need to go online? Do I have what I need to go on these apps? Do I have what I need to do rideshare or delivery, right? Do I have what I need, right? And so let me get close up on y'all for a little bit. To get vital with it, if you don't do that self-analysis first, right? Getting to this portion of MVP is not going to it's not going to work, because you're going to be chasing everything, like I said earlier, and you're going to think everything fits. And so check yourself first. What do you need, right? What do you need? And what do you have? Where are you headed? What do you need right now? What do you need in the next 3 to 6 months? What do you need down the road, right? Check yourself on what you need, and then begin to basically profile yourself, right? And in doing that, then you can say, okay, here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm gonna deal with first. Here's my first priority. And so when I say most vital prospects, they're not your only prospects, right? Just like the MVP is not the only player on the team, but it's the player on the team who is so important that if everything went down and that player was gone, the story would be different and rewritten, and it would be totally different. And that's why a lot of MVPs are champions, right? Because, they took the team there. And if it hadn't been for them and their actions and their leadership, the team wouldn't have gotten there. And that's why a lot of MVPs are also champions, and then they're the championship MVP because they made a difference in the game. They made a difference in their play. And so that happens a lot of times. The recent post with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How many MVPs can that man have? I mean, between him and Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, it's just amazing that that's old school big men basketball. It's amazing. And so when we talk about most valuable player, that's how that fits. When we talk about most vital prospects, like I said, they're not your only prospects, but they're your most vital ones. They're the main ones that you're working on, but you're still working on other stuff along the way. Remember, part of the goal is to get to a point where you have multiple streams of income. And that's based upon, what we learned from Robert Allen, right? Robert Allen came up with that book and title. He also had multiple streams of internet income, but you'll hear a lot of people talk about it. You'll hear Sean Cannell, Think Media, talk about it. You'll hear other folks, Roberto Blake and folks talk about, what are you, how come you're only looking at one source and things like that. And so those folks are being real with you. How do you repurpose things? How do you stagger them and put them on different levels to where you have content or products or services that are packaged and set up to where you're not just waiting on clients to get on a Zoom or a conference call or $50 per hour FaceTiming with clients that you're coaching and training. Do you have e-courses as well that will create multiple streams of income? And so now with the most vital prospects, here's what I did as far as the situation, right? And it's just real, right? I took the rationale of what I'm dealing with right now, and so my focus was immediate cash, frequent payouts, and potential tips. I started, and so I signed up with those that I viewed as, vital, that fit the bill. Instacart, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Those were my MVPs. Those were my most vital prospects. And in doing this, right, I kept going, and then boom, Instacart. Guess what? I didn't get the card till halfway through the week. I'm already doing my comparison. I'm gonna catch you next week, right? Uber Eats, up to 5 times a day you can cash out, right? And it directly loads to your debit card, or you can wait until the weekly payday. DoorDash, the cash out fee. Oh, my bad. And the cash out fee for Uber Eats is 50 cents, right? Let's be real. It's 50 cents, right? And so I'm gonna be honest with you. If you got a problem with a 50-cent cash out fee and you are making an average of $8-10 per delivery, and you might have the potential for $2 to $3 tips, even if you're giving poor service and showing up late. 50 cents? Come on, let's be real. 50 cents. It's not that bad, But I wasn't gonna roll with the $1.99 if I didn't need it immediately. And so I started on Saturday, right? And I said, well, Monday's 2 days away. Why do I need to cash out, a couple of bucks? I'll just wait. And so, you gotta make decisions like that along the way. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to pay almost 4 times more than what I pay Uber for one cash out for, cashing this out? No, I'll wait 2 days. Catch you on Monday. Boom. That's the difference. Okay. And so if you're doing multiple cash outs, if you're doing all 5 cash outs during the day, yeah, you're paying $2.50. But if you plan it and you can hold out to the end of the night, or you do it twice a day, you're still saving versus doing the $1.99 one with DoorDash. And so you got to balance that out. And all these offered what I wanted. They offered immediate cash, they offered frequent payouts, and they offered potential tips. That's all I was looking for at first, right? The stuff that I can't get with me writing online, with me doing other stuff online, I wanted to get out of whatever I was doing, ride sharing, delivering, and all that. And so that's what I was looking at when I talk about the most vital prospects. Okay. That's what I was dealing with. That's how I set it up. If you got questions about it, definitely drop it in the comments, hit me up. I'm open to that, and I'm down with that. And so please, definitely keep in mind that's the whole aspect of the most vital prospects. And so these most vital prospects are going to be the things where you put a little more effort. You might double down on them at different times. I'll show you some different things. But boom, what happened this week, right, with what I had going on? What happened this week with these vital prospects? What happened this week that I've got to share with you and show you? And let me say this. I'm not doing a how-to on Uber Eats and DoorDash, Instacart, and all that. I'm actually going to do a how-to video on the delivery piece. I'm actually going to do that later. Okay. That'll be an upload. It won't be part of this live stream, and still catch it on this channel. And I'll do the how-to on that later. The focus on this is, did this meet and match my expectation in what I was going into, right? Remember what I wanted, right? You remember what I wanted? I wanted immediate cash, right? Frequent payouts, and potential for tips. Immediate cash, frequent payouts, and potential for tips. And I had to say, we got there. Boom. And so I keep track of what I do on Excel spreadsheet. If if you really want to track your stuff, I have mine set up for a month with calculations and everything. I can tell you, as I will today, what I average, you know, and you can get that. You can get that spreadsheet from me. Um, you know, just hit me up, right? And that'll be it. And so hit me up in the comments, and on on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, all that. I'm at the same, even TikTok, I'm on the same tag at Red Bruce J. Just hit me up. Let's just get that out there. If you want the Excel spreadsheet, I'll share it with you, and that's cool. So it's the same thing on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Red Bruce J. And so on any of those, even on Twitch, right? So what you gotta say? Let's look at this right here, man. Look at this chart, man, and you can see right around here these first 2 days. That's what I'm talking about with the learning curve. All right, that's what I'm talking about with the learning curve. And so since I only did Uber Eats and DoorDash, here goes the first 2 days of the learning curve. And actually, I'm Baptist. I'll go ahead and put it into 3 days, right? Look at this. There was activity on day 1, no DoorDash activity on day 2 or 3, activity on day 2 for Uber Eats, and no activity for either one on day 3. And let me just break this down. I was learning day 1 and day 2, these apps, and what do they do? How do you use them? Where you need to be, what potential areas. If you're not in the area where there are restaurants and eateries, all thing you're delivering is yogurt, or groceries, right? And so you've got to be in the vicinity of the eateries in order to deliver, and so take that with you for when I do the how-to, but you got to be in the vicinity, to get these deliveries and stuff. And so you got to be on the move. And so the apps pick up on that, and they, you're able to do different things with them. And I appreciate it, especially as I look at these first 3 days. The third day, I had a meeting for my online class that I'm taking, and I had to do some preparation for that, all in my head and everything. But I wasn't going to be driving that day, right? And so I took that day off. Sometimes it's like that. And look what happens day 4, right? Go from less than $25 earning to just under $75, right? DoorDash. Then we go over here and we're $80-something, right? And Uber Eats, I went from a high on the weekend of just a couple of orders. These just only represent a couple of orders. When I say learning curve, I was just testing it, And what happened? It's down, right? And so DoorDash, I see it moving around, and so I'm looking at this, and I'm big on charts, and so what it is 1 week, right? And you see the scale of where I'm hitting within that week, right? You see the numbers of what I'm hitting, just under $100, right? And let me keep this up here while I read off to you how many hours I did day one. Day one, I did an hour and 15 minutes delivering. Day two, 2 hours. Day three, 0. Day four, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Day 5, 4 hours. Day 6, 3 hours. Day 7, 6.5 hours. And today I've already done 2.25, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And here's the interesting thing. I'm averaging, right? Averaging out of all those days, except for that day with that big 0, I'm averaging $21.78 per hour, right? What I'm averaging. So hold up. If we do the simple calculation of that's my average hourly rate, and I've only put in a total of 20 hours before this morning for the whole week, what if I doubled that? What if I went all in on that? And instead of a couple hours a day, I'm doing a minimum of 6 hours a day. Or I'm doing a minimum of 8 hours a day, right? Think about it. And so as you get into this, you've got to do these calculations of, volume versus value, right? And, I'm gonna get into that a little later, but if I increase the volume and maintain the value at that rate, I'll definitely be ahead of where I am right now. And this chart would look like nothing. But I haven't, I'm still dealing with the learning curve, and so I haven't invested that time into what this could do. You get what I'm saying? And so just that hourly rate alone, that includes a bonus from Uber and DoorDash for Prop 22 because after my delivery, the gas, they count the mileage, they count the mileage, right? They discount my tips, are totally mine. Okay. And they have a calculation for what I should be earning on an average for a specified period of time in order to meet the minimum. And if I haven't hit that, then they supplement, right? And so since I haven't put in that much time, they supplemented. And so with DoorDash, I got an $8 supplement to make up the difference. With Uber, I got a $31 supplement to make up the difference. And so those are based upon Prop 22, and that's why in order to get started, I had to take this course, I had to take that course, I had to take another course on safety and sexual harassment. And so the legislation has a negotiation of what it can do and doesn't do. And so, boom, this is what we're dealing with. And so let's get real, right? With an average of $21.78 per hour, even if I drop down and have a bad day at $20 or $19.50, and I put in more time, I'm still winning, right? That's I'm still making a gain. And so even if I said I'm going to do a minimum of 6 hours a day at 1950, right? That's $117. If I say I'm going to do a minimum of 5 days per week at $117, that's $585 a week. Come on, that's a minimum. You're creating a threshold, and so you want to set goals. One of the guys I definitely recommend you check out. I found him to be insightful and definitely, not so much funny, but I thought he was good. Is your driver Mike, and he does some things on Uber, right? He does some things on how you should prepare yourself and everything for getting acclimated and getting into these delivery and rideshare apps. And so definitely your driver Mike, I just put his YouTube channel up. Check out his videos if you're interested in it. And he's doing something. He's doing something. And he's saying something that a lot of us need to pay attention to. The same thing that the gentleman that was interviewed on NerdWallet, when they talked about him holding a challenge where he made $8,000 a month delivering. And he broke down, it's not all about the large deliveries. Sometimes those small deliveries can stack up and make up for time while you're waiting for those large deliveries. Okay? And so keep that in mind as we look at the data. And so this right here is averaging 2178, right? And that includes bonuses from Prop 22 legislation. And so look at that. You can get, there's benefits to this that I'll get into with part of the how-to. I'll also get into the benefits. But as we continue this, I'll lay that out because I'm on track, if I do it right, to get an upgrade in benefits at another level by the time I hit next week. Let's see what it do. Let's see what it do, right? And boom, here we go. Check this out. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is the snapshot that tells the story beyond the graph, all right? The graph gives you a visual of, okay, bruh, you really do it a lot, but we know what the story is behind that graph, right? Now here's the story of what was hitting, what was going on. And so the highest earnings for a single day was $92.33, and that was yesterday. That was last night, right? That was last night with Uber Eats, right? Killing it, tips, all that good stuff, right? Easy deliveries. I think I went to, I don't know how much sushi and burritos I delivered yesterday, but also delivered pizza and things of that nature. Been to Chick-fil-A at least 2 or 3 times yesterday. Come on, man, right? And so people are paying for the convenience of not having to be inconvenienced by sitting in the drive-through or having to drive across town for something that they eat when somebody else can already pick it up and be on their way with it. And so that's what people are paying for, and that's why they're tipping too. And so, yeah, people going crazy over it. It's they want boba or they want Starbucks. They put it on the app. You pick it up, you deliver it, take a picture of it, get on and pick up the next delivery. Now, and so yesterday, delivered in the morning, delivered in the afternoon, and delivered in the evening. And so yesterday, I can give you my total hours for yesterday to let you know how that really fits. Like I said, yesterday was 6.5 hours, right? Um, More than any other day. And so naturally, why not? Why not earn more? And yesterday, what was the average rate? What was the hourly rate? $23. Come on, that's what we're doing. That's how we're doing this, man. And so, and that was because I also made $57 with DoorDash yesterday. So total 150.08, 6.5 hours, $23. Just over $23 is the hourly rate. And so I'll take that. I'll take that. Right? And so here we go. Highest earnings for the week is DoorDash. Right? And if I take you back to the chart, right? If I take you back to the chart, we see that DoorDash is up here more consistently than Uber Eats. Right? Uber Eats is down here on the ground floor, gradually picking up weekend hits. Boom. Boom. Right? $40 this morning. Boom. Right? That's what we're talking about. You know, it's hitting. Right? And so look at it. So that's $2.89 for DoorDash. Biggest tips, Uber Eats. But one for $11.34. That was a big tip. But my largest single delivery amount was yesterday, last night, $23.85. That includes a $10.62 tip, right? Look at this. Look at this and look how it's adding up. You know, you go back to the chart, right? If you go back to the chart, you can see it. You can see it, right? And then boom, right? That's what we're talking about. And so in this, weekdays, DoorDash, weekends, Uber Eats. Why can't that be the strategy? Why can't that be how we go forward? Why can't that be what we do next, right? Go back to what I said about those most vital prospects. Go back to what I said about finding your fit. Look at that and say, okay, wait a minute. Last Sunday and Saturday, I was hitting Uber and not a lot of DoorDash. During the week, I was hitting a lot of DoorDash and not a lot of Uber. Why not? Why not alternate the frequency and keep it moving? Why not increase the volume of hours put forth and time put forth and see what happens? Could the hourly rate go down and it goes down to $20? Yeah, that's possible. But isn't there potential for more tips, more deliveries, bigger orders, more consistent orders? And so the rate could go up. It has potential for that too. And so don't get me wrong. This is one way to work it. But I have to take you back to what I said earlier. And this makes a key amount of sense. And then I'm grinding this to a halt. This makes a key amount of sense. Listen, you've got to face the reality of this. All of this isn't for everybody. These deliveries, if you live in an area that is walker friendly, that has bike paths and things of that nature, and everything is too congested for parking, and you've got that bike and you've got that set up where you can put something on that bike or that scooter or whatever you got, and you can make deliveries, they'll let you do it. You don't need a car to do this. They'll let you do that. and people are making deliveries on bikes. Think about where you're at. Hey, if I have to get into an apartment complex and I have to park a car and it's resident parking only, and they got all these signs about you might get towed and all this other stuff, and somebody comes in there with a 10 speed and delivers the same thing I'm delivering and gets on the move because they got some bag slung across their back with like an ice cooler and a heat bag and a pizza carrying box. Come on, man. Do what fits you. And so if that works for you and that's your possibility, jump on it, right? Get it going. And if you hear of something and you say, I don't know, test it out, try it out. If it doesn't work, back out of it, right? Or can I do it a different way? For instance, if I don't want to shop at the big grocery stores, can I take the small gigs at 7-Eleven, the local, mom and pops, right? Those types of things. Balance it out based upon, if you're going to play the game, you got to know the rules. If you're going to play the game, you got to know the rules. And if you don't go through everything as far as these orientations that these delivery services and ride shares and other services have, you're wasting your time because you're going to violate something, you're going to do something, say something, and it's going to blow up, right? I'm constantly getting an offer to deliver alcohol, right? To deliver alcohol, but let's put that in perspective. The responsibility that comes along with delivering alcohol, I'd rather just deliver your burritos and fries. I don't want to deal with. Okay, I need to check your ID. You got kids here that are partying, and I'm gonna have to take this back to the store. I don't have time for all that. I'm not doing all that. No, and so the potential is there, the prospect is there, but is it worth it? And right now, no, because you want me to pick up, a half a gallon of vodka at Vons, and give me a $3 tip, but I'm picking up, 2 lattes over here at Starbucks, and she gave me an $8 tip. It balances out. Keep that. So find what fits you, and know that everything doesn't fit you. Know that you don't have to chase everything down and match up with everything that everybody's done. It makes sense that you're not going to be a pioneer going down somebody else's pathway. That's not gonna happen, right? And so you've got to find what fits you, and you've got to hold on through that learning curve. For me, it was 2-3 days, right? And I'm doing constant analysis. I'm in this thing. I'm in this notebook. I'm doing constant analysis, not just the numbers, but hey, man, I didn't like picking up. Hey, let me be real with you. I didn't like picking up groceries from one of the deliveries. I didn't like that. I didn't like the process. I just didn't like it, right? It was, and at the end of the day, for the amount of time I spent, was it worth the money? I mean, these big grocery orders, and was it worth the money? I know it helped somebody out that didn't have maybe the transportation or the means to get to the store or whatever. Cool. But then you treat groceries like you treat liquor. And now I got to make sure somebody's home. I got to make sure I hand it to them. Got to make sure. Come on now. So it may drop my acceptance rate, but I'm going to say no, decline. No, I don't want to go there. And so I pick and choose what I'm going to deal with. I pick and choose how I'm going to deal with it. And so when I get to my most vital prospects for the next couple of weeks, these are it. And I'm doing it and I'm dealing with the learning curve, right? The learning curve is not as steep as it was last week, but I'm adjusting my perspective. Like, oh, okay, I think I'll do DoorDash mainly during the week with, Uber Eats, checking in. But then I'll really pick up Uber Eats on the weekend where I can really get some orders and that thing gets popping and moving. And so based upon that, I'm able to increase the potential of what I can earn exponentially, right? And so three things I'd say, and then I'll leave you at peace. And they're real simple, nothing big, that would put you out any and where you would say, oh man, this is crazy. But number one, you got to know where you stand, right? You need that self-analysis, right? You need that self-analysis. You need that, and you need to start there, and that will allow you to, push forward, right? And I say that in all sincerity, but you do self-analysis, and that helps you understand what you have, what you need, where are the gaps, all of that, right? Right? And then you need this. Number two, you need to discover what you can do, and that's plain and simple, right? What's available to me? Like I said, if you're in a walkable area, you got a bike, you can be doing this, right? And knocking this out, right? But you're not gonna do it delivering, 50 pounds of groceries. Not gonna happen that way. And so you gotta know what you're capable of. You gotta know what your capacity is. And, you gotta know that. And you gotta, you gotta find what fits, right? You gotta find what fits. Find what fits you, what fits your situation. And if this thing is in constant motion, 6 weeks down the road, it might be different than it is today. So you're constantly planning, constantly looking ahead, right? And once you have that set up, this is the main thrust. Then you want to set a goal and go for it, right? You want to make 600 a week. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And how do you want to do it? I'm up here pulling my earplugs out. Time to go, right? But what do you want to do, and how do you want to do it? And what does that look like? And have you made your calculations? What's your minimum number of hours you're going to put into this? What's your minimum threshold of earnings you want to put into this? How much you want to set aside for taxes? How much you want to set aside for maintenance and repairs and gas and you're gonna get a flat tire sometime. How much are you gonna put towards something else? Just in case, right? What are you doing? Are you doing it by percentage? Are you doing it by ratio? What are you doing? And if you don't have a plan, it's easy for you to lose control, have slippage, and say, man, where did that go? I just had that sitting right there, and now I can't find it. Yeah, because you didn't have a plan for it. And so, boom, it's gone from you. And so this is simple, right? You want to do something that's really gonna pop and get it moving, right? Start with that. Start with knowing where you stand. Know where you are. Know what you got going on. Know what's hidden and what's missing with what you got going on right now. Right? Know your gaps. Right? Discover what you can do. What's available out there? Are you a writer? Are you a good speaker? Are you a motivational person, an inspirational person that can keep people going? Are you a trainer? Are you a coach? What do you got going on? What can you do? Right? And if you don't have any skills, what are things that people are doing that don't have skills? Are you connecting other people? Are you that person? Are you the one who's the agent and who's negotiating on behalf of someone else? Are you building something for somebody and that way you're getting a little bit off of the piece? Or do you just need to be a copycat? Hey, plenty of people on YouTube are doing that. They're just copycat. What's trending? Oh, if I put how to on the video, more people will tune in. Okay, how to, and teaching stuff that they don't even know how to do, right? But they got views, and you bought something off of Amazon on their site, and then boom, now they're making money. Being real, that's how it works. And so, boom, look at it, and look at what can you do, and you find what fits you, what works for you, and if it really works for you, double down on that. Right? I've been putting in 20 hours this week on that. Next week, I may come back and say I put in, 60 or more. I got to set my minimum. Next week, I may say, well, yeah, that $11 tip was good, but man, this past week I got that $20 tip. That blew me away, right? I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to say I put myself out there for a greater reward, right? The risk-reward ratio. So I put myself out there more, I'm bound to get rewarded more, and so that's part of it. And so let's table this for now, right? Because I'm going to make a video on Uber Eats and DoorDash, get that done. I'm going to do my homework for this week, get all caught up on that, be open on, making more deliveries and things of that nature. Get into this, write down all my background work for Instacart, get into Instacart this week a little bit and see where that fits in. And we'll take it from there, see where we are with Grubhub, see where we are with Shipped. And they got this new thing, Toast. Try that out too. It's a lot of different things, man. Postmates, guess what? The secret is I already get a lot of Postmates orders because they come on Uber. Boom. No problem. I'll take it. So we're going to do it that way. I'll have more for you there. But definitely understand you gotta set a goal and go for it. If you don't do anything else, set a goal and go for it. Create you something that will motivate you to make a move, that'll have you going forward and not sitting still, that'll have you in motion and motivated and not wondering what if. Set a goal, go for it, get you some results, and take a breath and say, do I want to keep doing this? Do I need to keep doing this? Or can I do this better? Can I do this differently? And you're constantly doing systems analysis. Is this working? And is this working for me? And you're constantly doing system analysis, because that's how you refine it and improve it and get it to a point where, boom, hey, I've got this working like a machine. And voila, there it is. Hey, this has been Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. I'm looking at the gig economy, how to increase your income with the gig economy. We did a little focus on comparing Uber Eats and DoorDash to one another this week. I'll have more to share and compare next week. But in the meantime, Godspeed, God bless. Much love to you. Ciao.